The lights were bright, the studio full. The Ellen DeGeneres Show had returned with a controversial guest, Karoline Leavitt, rising Republican voice and former Trump press secretary. Ellen greeted her with a smile. The crowd politely clapped. The tone, at first, was light. They joked about Caroline's age, how she rose so fast in the party, and what it was like working under Trump. But then Ellen shifted in her seat. "Caroline," she asked calmly, "you've said you support freedom for all, but do you really believe that includes the LGBTQ+ community?" The crowd quieted. Caroline, smiling, replied, "I believe in the Constitution, free speech, and the rights of every American. That doesn't mean I agree with every lifestyle." The temperature in the room dropped. Ellen pressed further. "So, you support free speech, but not equal rights?" Caroline's smile faded slightly. "That's not what I said." "It's what you meant," Ellen shot back. Gasps from the audience. Caroline shifted in her seat. "Are you here to have a conversation or turn me into a headline?" Ellen didn't blink. "I think you've already done that." The crowd went quiet. The tension was real, and the moment everything flipped was coming next. The studio was silent, like everyone knew something explosive was about to happen. Ellen leaned in. Her voice was calm, but her words cut deep. "You say you support rights for everyone, but you've campaigned with people who call the LGBTQ community a threat to children." Caroline shifted. "That's not fair. I don't control what others say. I represent values that millions of Americans still believe in." Ellen raised an eyebrow. "And those values include telling gay kids they're wrong for existing?" The audience gasped. Caroline bristled. "Now who's twisting words?" "I came here in good faith. Clearly, that was a mistake." The applause sign didn't light up. No one clapped. Everyone was watching, frozen. Ellen stayed calm. "I invite people on to have real conversations. But I won't let anyone sit on my couch and speak in double-speak while people out there are fighting for their lives." Caroline's tone snapped. "Maybe if you spent more time listening instead of preaching, you'd understand how America really feels." Ellen didn't flinch. "America's evolving, Caroline. You might want to try it sometime." At that point, Caroline reached for her mic. She didn't say another word, just unclipped it, stood up, and walked off the set. The audience didn't know whether to boo or clap. Ellen sat in silence, then calmly said, "We'll be right back." The screen faded to black, and the internet was seconds away from breaking. It didn't take long. Within 15 minutes of the walk-off, a behind-the-scenes phone recording surfaced on Twitter. Blurry, shaky, but unmistakably real. Caroline in the hallway, furious. Two aides by her side. "She ambushed me. She wanted a viral moment, not a conversation." A staffer replied, "They told us no LQBT questions. That wasn't in the pre-interview." Caroline, "I'm done with these Hollywood setups." The video was only 22 seconds long, but it didn't matter. It was all the internet needed. TikTok remixes, YouTube breakdowns, Twitter threads labeling it everything from hate speech exposure to free speech censorship. The hashtags came instantly. Caroline walks off. Ellen exposes hate. Ambush or accountability. The couch. That snapped cable news pounced. CNN aired it live. Fox News called it a media hit job. MSNBC ran the segment 5 times in 2 hours. Ellen's team released a short, polished statement. Ellen stands for open dialogue, but not at the expense of human dignity. Caroline's campaign, meanwhile, went full offense. This was a staged ambush meant to silence conservative voices in front of a liberal studio audience. But the comment sections had already taken sides. She showed her true colors. This is why no one trusts the left. Ellen baited her and knew exactly what she was doing. Karoline said nothing hateful. She was hunted for not clapping loud enough. The lines were drawn, and everyone had missed the biggest twist. Because the real firestorm was just getting started. It was no longer just a trending moment. It was becoming a crisis. By the following morning, 4 of Ellen's top sponsors had pulled advertising from the episode. Major brands released quiet, carefully worded statements. We support open dialogue, but not divisiveness. This segment did not reflect the tone we align with. We are reviewing future advertising placements. But it didn't stop there. Karoline's campaign began hemorrhaging donors too. A pass associated with her released this line: "We do not condone her media strategy and were not aware of the segment in advance." Inside sources told reporters that multiple GOP figures privately distanced themselves, calling the interview a strategic disaster. Still, conservative outlets rallied behind her. She was set up and shoved out. Ellen DeGeneres used her platform to shame a guest live on air. This is what happens when you challenge Hollywood's narrative. On the other side, progressive influencers launch viral campaigns like number "Not on My Couch," urging daytime shows to stop platforming those who spin hate behind polite branding. And then came the leak. A producer on Ellen's team anonymously posted a text thread, screenshots showing she was warned 3 times not to bring up LGBTQ rights. She insisted. She wanted to see what Karoline would do. The internet split in half. Was it a brave confrontation or a media setup that crossed a line? But no matter the interpretation, the headlines wrote themselves, and Karoline's response would define what came next. 3 days later, Karoline Leavitt reappeared, not on Fox News, not on a podcast, but in a professionally lit solo video uploaded straight to YouTube. The thumbnail was plain, no title, just her sitting alone, hands clasped. The title? What Really Happened on Ellen. The video opened in silence. Then Karoline spoke, directly to the camera. "When I sat on that couch, I expected disagreement. I didn't expect deception." She laid it all out. The pre-interview agreement, the staff assurances, the questions she says were deliberately swapped hours before showtime. She paused. This wasn't about equal rights. This was about no right to defend myself. Clips from the walk-off rolled as she spoke, intercut with behind-the-scenes audio never before heard. A hot mic recording from Ellen's staff caught someone whispering, "Let her talk herself into a corner, then Ellen brings the fire." The internet exploded again. Suddenly, the narrative flipped for some viewers. Wait, so they wanted her to walk off? This was a trap. I don't like her views, but this was low. Ellen has some explaining to do. Progressives dug in. Conservatives declared victory. But the comment section? It burned with chaos. And in the final seconds of the video, Karoline said, "This wasn't the first time a conservative voice was silenced, but it might be the last time anyone does it without being exposed." She stared at the camera. Then the screen went black. A final message appeared. "You decide what you saw." Just when the internet thought it had seen the last twist, Ellen made a move no one expected. A tweet. Simple. Director. "Karoline, come back. No cameras. Just a conversation." It got over 9 million views in 3 hours. Was it an olive branch? A PR stunt? Or something bigger? Karoline didn't reply, publicly, but insiders leaked an email from her team. She'll only return if it's live, unedited and moderated by a third party. Suddenly, news outlets offered to host the rematch. CNN, The View, even Joe Rogan chimed in. The headlines were relentless. Karoline versus Ellen, round 2? Will the couch see redemption or ruin? A conservative returns to Hollywood's front lines. Meanwhile, both sides' followers dug in deeper. Don't go back, Karoline. They want blood. Ellen needs to apologize first. No second chances for bigotry. No more setups disguised as talk shows. And in the background, rumors swirled. Was Netflix trying to broker a special? Was this all the setup for a political run? Or had it just become the most unexpected political drama of the year? No one knew, but everyone was watching. And the final words of Caroline's latest pinned tweet? You're not ready for what comes next.